వింటున్నారు తెలుగు NRI రేడియో. ఇది ప్రవాసాంధ్రుల గుండె చప్పుడు.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the most beautiful and the most entertaining and the world's most craziest, in fact, the world's most ultimate one and only show, Express Raja, a manchi cocktail and show. And in me, Ajay Shashank, and welcome you all to the traditional Thursday. చూస్తూ వీకెండ్ గడిచిపోతుంది, వచ్చేస్తుంది ఇన్ఫ్యాక్ట్. అండ్ మనం వీఆర్ ఆల్ సెట్ ఫర్ వీకెండ్ పార్టీ అనమాట. సో వీకెండ్కి మచ్ నీడెడ్ బ్రేక్ కోసం మనం మంచిగా వెయిట్ చేస్తున్నాము. అండ్ ఈ ప్రాసెస్లో మనకి యాజ్ యూజువల్గా ఈరోజు థర్స్డే కాబట్టి ఒక ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ సెగ్మెంట్ ఉంటుంది. కాబట్టి ఆ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఇవ్వడానికి నేను ఇవ్వను ఈరోజు. I have got a special person in our show who is actually an entrepreneur and who is actually a philanthropist and very passionate person towards healthcare, education, and most important, environment anamata. So he's none other than Mr. Hari Eppanapally. Good morning, Hari. Ela unnaru?
Yeah. Good morning, and it's Shashank. Very nice to talk to you today.
Thank you so much. Pleasure is ours. So, ela unnaru and what is going on? How is your
Very
day
good.
started?
I'm in New Jersey today, and the
Alright.
weather is clearing up. We had a rain for the whole week, but now it's getting better.
Very good. Absolutely amazing. So, Hari garu, before we kick off our show, I would like you to give your introduction. Ante koncham a short or a brief introduction ivandi about you and what you've been doing from past several years and since your childhood. Me kind of background icheseyandi, and then we'll take it from there, please.
Sure, definitely. My name is Hari Eppanapally. I'm originally from కరీంనగర్ నుంచి చొప్పదండ అనేది మా విలేజ్. అక్కడనే నేను చైల్డ్హుడ్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ అంతా జరిగింది. దెన్ ఇంజనీరింగ్ వచ్చేసి JNTU హైదరాబాద్లో చేశాను. ఆఫ్టర్ దట్ 1985 జనవరిలో నేను యుఎస్ వచ్చాను. క్లోజ్ టు 34 years అయిపోయింది ఇప్పుడు యుఎస్ వచ్చి. For the last 30 years, I'm on Wall Street working with major financial institutions like Credit Suisse, Alliance Bernstein, Merrill Lynch, BlackRock. Now I'm currently working with BNY Mellon, Bank of New York Mellon. That's on the professional side. On the personal side, I'm very passionate about, as you said, about healthcare, education, and environment. In this field, I worked with Dr. Abdul Kalam, the former president of India. He initiated a movement called Lead India. He wanted to see India healthy, educated, and save the planet for the future generations. So, Dantlo, I'm the global head of the Lead India Foundation now, and also the chairman of the board for the U.S. organization of the Lead India. So, like that, there are other several organizations I'm part of which are related to healthcare and education. So, that is brief about me, Andy.
All right. So, Lead India annaru, and you worked with Dr. ఆయన పేరు తీసుకోవాలంటే కూడా ఐ హ్యావ్ టు థింక్ అబౌట్ థింక్ ట్వైస్ అబౌట్ టేకింగ్ హిస్ నేమ్. సో ఆనరబుల్ APJ అబ్దుల్ కలాం తో వర్క్ చేశారు మీరు. సో హౌ వాజ్ యువర్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ అండ్ హౌ డిడ్ యూ గెట్ ఇన్ టచ్ విత్ హిమ్ అండ్ ఎట్లా స్టార్ట్ అయింది మీ పరిచయం, ఆపర్చునిటీ ఎలా వచ్చింది?
So, Kalam Garu is a great scientist, as you know. He was born in Rameshwaram, and he did aeronautical engineering. After that, became a rocket scientist, then a missile scientist. Then tarvata government of India honored him with the highest civilian award called Bharat Ratna. Then during the BJP government of Vajpayee, they appointed him as the president of India.
Yes.
So our time lo varu mamulu lame duck president ga kakunda, he was very active president. He created a road map for India called Vision 2020 to see India as a developed nation. As a scientist, he provided the entire blueprint, the roadmap, the milestones, how to do all those things, and that was approved by the government of India to move forward. And the key pillars of that, he wanted to see electronic connectivity, health connectivity, education connectivity, grid-independent energy connectivity. With these 4 connectivities, he felt there will be a financial connectivity, and the people from rural areas moving to urban areas will come down, and the nation will be developed holistically. In addition to that, he also realized the significant presence of youth in India. There are about 55% of them are below 25 years. And he wanted to transform them into responsible citizens and created a movement called Lead India. And created a training program called Aap Bado, Desh Ko Badao. Dani testing, experimentation anta fortunately appudu combined state of Andhra Pradesh lo jarigindi. The final test of that stress test of that program was conducted in November of 2007 in Karimnagar. That is where I originally come from. Appudu I got connected with Dr. Abdul J. Kalam. So since then, they recruited me into the movement as a volunteer, and then inducted me into a trust, and then appointed me as a global coordinator, and that journey started, the introduction started like that.
All right. Roughly, how many years మీ ఇద్దరు కలిసి వర్క్ చేశారు?
So since 2008 March, Andy.
All right.
So I met him whenever we visited India, and whenever he came to US, met him and worked with him closely on the Lead India movement since March of 2008.
All right. How was your experience, meaning in terms of personal basis, in terms of professional experience? What kind of learning did you have? And as a whole, what was your experience with APJ Abdul Kalam?
First of all, he is a great soul, and I'm fortunate to have worked with him, and I'm proud to say that he knew me well. Everybody knows Kalam, but Dr. Kalam knew me well, and he used to address me as Hariji. The biggest experience I have was we created a concept school called Lead India Bharat Ratnas, and that was launched on June 20th, 2013 in Hyderabad, suburb of ECIL, a village called Banlaguda. That was a creation of Professor Sudarshanacharya, Dr. Abdul Kalam, and myself. And the inauguration day, Kalam was the chief guest, and he wanted me to deliver the keynote address. That was the most touching moment of my life. And prior to that, I met him in the Raj Bhavan on the 19th of June 2013 to review my keynote address with him to make sure that I'm not talking something that is not appropriate. So he read the entire speech of mine and said, Hariji, this is democracy. You can say whatever you like. And that's how I was inspired with him. That's humility, simplicity. And I delivered on that day, my speech was slightly longer than Dr. Kalam's speech. And over 10,000 people in person attended that, and every channel broadcasted that live. And Telugu One Radio put that on the internet for online viewers as well. So that is the most rewarding, exciting, and memorable situation that I went through with him. There are several other things also I can share as we go through this show.
For sure, for sure. So I see you have about 30 plus years of experience in financial services, and in this 30 years of journey, I also see you are founder of many NGOs. So Miku, first NGOs gurinchi telusukone mundu, how did you start off or how did you get this thought to work on these NGOs, and what motivated you to work on this education, healthcare, and environment? What exactly did you get motivated with?
Yes, when I was growing up, I came from a family which was going through extreme poverty, and especially during my childhood years up to 7th grade. There is a situation I will explain. When I was in 2nd grade, the situation was so bad we did not have enough food to eat for a couple of days sometimes, and also not only one pair of clothes. And one day on the end of the 2nd grade year in school, there was a school photo session, and I did not have the proper clothes to wear. So I abstained from attending that photo session in the school. So that was the kind of situation I went through, and I personally went through some health issues as I was growing up. So since then, my mind was slowly getting in the direction that I don't want to suffer in my life, and also I don't want anybody around me suffer for health-related or education-related matters. And I felt keeping people healthy and educated will enable them to earn their living respectfully. So with that strong mindset as I was growing up, and I decided to pursue my passion as I became more and more financially stable, I wanted to provide those things for the people who are in need. So that's how my thought process started. And
Very good. Very good. So let me ask you this question. So you've targeted, or you started off with targeting youth, and you are still in the target with the youth. So I see something called transforming youth into responsible citizens. What is it about? Like, could you elaborate on that?
Definitely. This is a great question, actually. So the gist of this Lead India ABDB training program is it's a value-based leadership training program. As Kalam was born into a small fisherman village, into a lower middle-class family, if he was able to become a Bharat Ratna and a President of India, genetically most of us are connected, similar genetics. So if Kalam could succeed, and each one of us have the equal opportunity to succeed in our own field. Everybody need not become the President of India, but we can excel in our own field. With that concept, for example, when a farmer sprinkles seeds into the soil, every seed genetically has the potential to sprout and good harvest. But when the farmer sprinkles those seeds into the soil, some of those seeds fall into an appropriate place where sun shines, water reaches, the soil is good. And some seeds, with no fault of them, fell in the edge where water may not have reached. There may be a shade on the way, and the soil may not be good. Those seeds did not sprout well. For example, when God sprinkled us on this planet, some people fell into, Bronx, Brooklyn, inner cities, and some people fell into Tata's house, Birla's house. Some people fell in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and, Rajasthan, those kind of places where resources or access to resources not available. So with that in mind, Dr. Kalam created this Lead India Aap Badho Desh Ko Badhao training program to provide that kind of mentorship, guidance, and if necessary, some financial assistance, or books and whatever needed, take them along and to succeed in their own life. To prove this fact, personally myself, I established a school for the tribal children in Adilabad. That's where I was growing up, starving in the childhood age, in 2002. We started with 108 students. Chinnajiyar Swamiji's VT Seva organization is currently managing it. Today we have about close to 350 students. About a dozen batches completed their high school. And when we started this school, they were not able to even speak properly. But today, everybody is passing from that school with 9.0 out of 10, at least. So that proves if you provide the appropriate access to all the resources, everybody can excel. So with that concept in mind, this Lead India Aap Badho Desh Ko Badhao training program has got 10 modules. One is physical development, mental development, career development, family development, social development, all the way leading to national development. So at the end of the training program, we call them change agents. And these change agents, they live in their neighborhoods, and we teach them how to identify and solve the problems in the neighborhoods. For example, each one teach them to eliminate illiteracy, plant 10 trees to protect the environment, identify and turn off bad habits in 10 people like drinking, smoking, whatever the addictions are, sanitation, nutrition, health education. So we teach them how to solve problems, and they identify the problems in their neighborhood, and they create a plan and execute that plan. So that's how this ABDB training program is structured to transform youth into responsible citizens and engage them in development of the nation.
Amazing. I mean, I am personally inspired with this. So what is this Aap Badho and Desh Ko Badhao? So where and when did this start? And exactly whose idea was it? And ఎట్లా స్టార్ట్ అయింది? And how many people were there when you started off with this? And what were the hurdles, challenges that you faced initially?
Right. So Dr. Kalam and Professor Sudarshanacharya jointly created this Lead India training program. And they experimented initially in Srikakulam tribal areas with 6,000 children. And based on the outcome, they modified the program. And then in Medak district of Hyderabad, suburb of Hyderabad, they tested with 1 lakh students. And then with 250,000 children in Karimnagar in November of 2007, Dr. Kalam personally visited Karimnagar for the graduation ceremony of the training program. After that, he declared this as a viable model for the entire nation to transform youth into responsible citizens. And he included this thing in his outgoing speech in the parliament as President of India. So that is how this whole thing started. So the reason he is a visionary, so he has seen, based on the statistics, by 2020, it is projected that average age of working Indian will be 29 years, and every 1 in 5 will be of Indian origin working in the world. So 20% of the world's workforce will be Indian origin and youngest workforce in the history of mankind. So he felt if we don't transform them into responsible citizens, it will be disaster for India and rest of the world. That's how deeply he thought about it and created this training program. So far, we touched directly or indirectly close to 10 million children. Now we are in scaling up using technology to reach in the next few years 300 million children. And again, this is an ongoing program. So the way it works is we recruit unemployed youth. Typically in India, engineering and masters, after that, they have typically about 2 to 3 years before they find a suitable job. So from that pool of youngsters, we pick some people with a patriotic mindset. We train them as trainers, and we deploy a set of 4 trainers in a high school, and we train 6th grade to 12th grade. In some schools with CBSE curriculum, they also have 12th grade. So 6 to 12 is our target age group for this training program. They provide this training for 3 half days in a school. After that, they create a Lead India club, and where the teachers, parents, and students are members of it. And through that Lead India club, we execute this year-round program I was mentioning. Each one teach 10, plant 10 trees, turn off bad habits in 10 people. That program is conducted and coordinated by the Lead India clubs, by the students in those villages and towns. So that's how this program is structured, Andy.
All right, makes sense. Before we talk in detail about your mission and your individuality and stuff, మనకి మీ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ ఒకసారి చెప్తారా? లైక్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ అండ్ ఒక్కసారి చెప్తారా ఎడ్యుకేషన్ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ గురించి ప్లీజ్?
షూర్. నేను హై స్కూల్ వచ్చేసి కరీంనగర్ డిస్టిక్లో చొప్పదండి అనేది విలేజ్. సో జిల్లా పరిషత్ హై స్కూల్లో చదువుకున్నాను. ఐ వాజ్ ద టాపర్ ఇన్ ద క్లాస్. అండ్ ద స్కూల్ వాజ్ అబౌట్ 200-year-old. Currently, when I visited in 2005, it was in a deteriorating situation. So I took up that project and we reconstructed that school. Now, as a gesture for doing that, the government of Andhra Pradesh that time, Rajshekar Reddy was the chief minister. The high school was officially named after me. Today it's called Harikishan Eppanapally Jilla Parishad High School. So that is my high school background. Then I did intermediate in Warangal in a college called CKM College. And that time the principal was the Telangana Siddhanta Karta antar kada, Professor Shashank was my principal. And I learned a lot of things and got big inspiration from him. And again, there also I was topper in the intermediate, did maths, physics, and chemistry, MPC. And then I got into engineering in JNTU Hyderabad. I completed my mechanical engineering in 1984. Then I came to study MS in computer science in US on January of 1985. Studied in New Jersey Institute of Technology, and then started as a full-time faculty in St. Peter's University in Jersey City in 88. And after 1 year, I really did not enjoy the teaching, which I was passionate about. I was growing up. Then joined as a consultant to AT&T in Piscataway, New Jersey. And I worked there until 93. Then moved on to New York. And today I'm with the Bank of New York Mellon as a vice president in Global Infotech Division, taking care of big data related enterprise level regulated reporting and infrastructure related projects.
Amazing. All right. Let's talk about your entrepreneurship. So I see something called quibblemd.com, and I see that's inspiring me. Could you elaborate on that?
Sure, definitely. As I mentioned to you before, I'm passionate about health, education, and environment. So QuibbleMD is related to healthcare. And as you know, there's a lot of new stuff is coming along in the genetics field. So QuibbleMD is a genetic testing platform we created. It's a technology platform. So today, a lot of things are because of how your genetic blueprint is, but we don't know yet. ఇప్పుడు జాతకం చూసినట్టుగానే, if you understand the genetics, we can identify what are the possible diseases you may have upfront, so that you can think of changing your lifestyle, food habits, or preventive care. All those things can be done. With that in mindset, instead of reacting after the disease, we want to focus on preventing the disease from happening or knowing about it. So today in the genetics world, a lot of testing is done for a given specific reason. They take a blood or a saliva sample, and DNA sequencing is done. And after that, they go through some known panels comparing with your DNA profile with some pre-identified diseases, existing panels. And they report back to you, okay, let's say I may have Parkinson's disease, ankondi. Danki test chesi, they'll come back and say, yes, you have, or you don't have, or what is the percentile. So we wanted to disrupt that market, and we initiated this Quibble Genomics Institute. We want to sequence once and report as many times as possible, and we wanted to give the data to a mobile device, a smartphone, to iOS or Android smartphones, to the patient, the physicians, and the hospitals, so that they can look at the data and also interpret themselves what is happening, and also deep dive into drill down further and see what is happening for that particular ailment in the marketplace. What is the research happening? What is the possible treatment options? What are the medications that are suitable or not suitable? All those things we are driving it. I'll give you one more thing that I'm passionate about using this genetic testing field. There are about 240 single gene defect diseases are identified already. And an example is predominantly in India, since this call listeners are from India, there is a genetic disorder disease called sickle cell anemia. So typically it's about close to 40 million tribal population in India are supposed to have impacted with this. This is caused due to a single gene defect. And there is a Nobel Prize winning process called CRISPR-Cas9, which provides ability to edit the gene, to remove the bad gene and inject back into the system. And with this process, for the current, the DNA gets rebuilt, and this defect will be eliminated through the life of this person. And if that person is in the reproduction system, they don't pass this defect to the next generation of the people. So this is my dream, to eliminate as many single gene defects as possible from this planet. That's how deep we are thinking through the Quibble Genomics Institute. So probably got the idea. So
yes,
that's my dream, and see how many we could knock off in my own lifetime for the people who are impacted with this single gene defect, Sunday. And the sickle cell anemia, closely monitoring and working towards that.
Absolutely. Hope our wishes are with you to eliminate as much number as possible with this rare genetic disorder. Location ekkadandi dindi? Quibble MD.
Quibble Genomics Institute headquarters in Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
And now we are in the process of setting up a lab in India to work on these kind of things.
All right. And I also see something called vrminds.com. What is it based on, and what's the motto of this?
Again, these are all related to health and education related companies that I'm part of. I'm the co-founder of the VR, Virtual Reality Minds, which focuses on AR and VR technology, augmented reality and virtual reality technology. I'll give you some examples. For example, when a brain surgeon is operating on you, right? And you cannot do a trial and error. You have to do as perfect as possible. Otherwise, any small mess up in touching some other part of the brain will mess up you entirely, right? Yes. So using the VR technology, virtual reality technology, we could simulate the whole thing virtually, and the surgeon can practice virtually before he goes and operates physically. So I'm just giving you one example. And also, for example, you want to train a pilot. So we can use the VR technology to do that. And it's a three-dimensional view of real-life situations. That's what the VR technology is all about. So, for example, we are focusing initially on this Lead India movement. We are physically sending these trainers to each school, right? So scaling up to touch upon 300 million students in 640 districts in India. Each district may have about more than 100 schools. So the manpower needed to do that costs in billions of dollars. So we are working with a team of smart people based in Bangalore to bring this VR technology so that the trainers virtually appear in front of the students using the VR glasses so that we could reach as many schools as possible using the technology.
All right. And I'm sure I see a lot of other entrepreneurships. Like I'm sure absolutely everything is related to మీరు అన్నట్టుగా హెల్త్ అండ్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ రిలేటెడ్ ఉన్నాయి అన్ని ఇన్ఫాక్ట్. అండ్ ఐ ఆల్సో సీ సంథింగ్ కాల్డ్ indiaamericatoday.com. What is it about?
So this is a media company based in Washington, D.C. It's a news media agency.
For sure.
And I invested into that company, and I'm on the board of that media company. And they are connected with the White House, with the credentials to attend the White House and Pentagon and the State Department, all those credentials to as a news media company. The main reporter there is Mr. Tejinder Singh. He's the main person running that show, but I'm the investor and I'm on the board.
All right, and I see you have you have your hand in the agricultural lands itself through terviva.com, if I'm not wrong. So what is it about?
It's a Terviva. Again, this is related. During Obama administration as president, they mandated that about 22% of the fuel should come from the bio side.
Okay.
And in that process, there is a company called Terviva was created from California, and I'm one of the early investors into this company. ఇప్పుడు ఇండియాలో మనకి గానుగ చెట్టు అని దొరుకుతుంది. దానికి ఒక చింతకాయలు లాంటి కాయలు వస్తాయి, దాంట్లో సీడ్స్ ఉంటాయి. ఆ సీడ్స్ని క్రష్ చేస్తే బయోడీజిల్ ఆయిల్ వస్తుంది. దాన్ని ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ రిఫైనరీస్ ద్వారా వితౌట్ ఎనీ చేంజెస్ యూ కుడ్ రిఫైన్ దట్ అండ్ ప్రొడ్యూస్ ఇంటూ బయోడీజిల్. We project that cost of that will be around $40-45 per barrel, and today it's about $80-90 a regular crude oil in this market. But there's a huge demand because the mandate is 20+% should come from the bio side. In Brazil, they're using the corn, mokkajonnalto chestunaru, but it is cutting into the edible food, and the cost is high. So what we is పొంగామి అనేది ప్లాంట్, ఇది గానుగ చెట్టు అంటారు ఇండియాలో. ఇది ఆస్ట్రేలియాలో, ఇండియాలో సన్ బెల్ట్ ఏరియాలో బాగా పెరుగుతుంది, వేస్ట్ ల్యాండ్ లో. దీనికి ప్రత్యేకమైన ల్యాండ్ కానీ పెద్ద వాటర్ కానీ అవసరం లేదు. మేము Australian genetics of this Pongamia plant are much more better. So we bought them through Terviva here in the US, and we experimented in Texas and then planted in Texas, Florida. Now we are planting in Hawaii also. A huge market, and happy to be part of that early investment into this. The beauty of this is the life of this tree is about 25-30 years. First couple of years, దానికి కేర్ కావాలి. And Department of Agriculture subsidized about 90% of the first year plantation ఖర్చులు. దాని తర్వాత it grows on its own actually. Not much of attention is needed. 4 years తర్వాత pods వస్తాయి. Then we can take those pods, crush. The wastage high in nitrogen goes back as fertilizer and also high in protein. Now we are looking into making food for the pets anamata from that waste. And this beauty of this plant is it absorbs a lot of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. So the many benefits of this. That's the reason this is subsidized heavily by the Department of Agriculture. And we successfully growing this business, hoping that eventually some big agriculture company will buy us out. We just raised over $20 million to expand this into Hawaii and other parts of the world.
Great. So let's talk about me non-profit and social service related activities. Like you started off saying Lead India 2020. సో ఇప్పుడు ప్రస్తుత పరిస్థితి ఎలా ఉంది? మీ మిషన్ లీడ్ ఇండియా li2020.org దీని రిలేటెడ్ ఇప్పుడు కరెంట్ పరిస్థితి ఎలా ఉంది చెప్పగలుగుతారా?
ఇప్పుడు ఈ మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద సదరన్ స్టేట్స్ లో ఇంతకంటే ముందు చాలా చేశాము. ఇప్పుడు నార్త్ లో జరుగుతుంది ట్రైనింగ్. ప్రస్తుతము గుజరాత్, రాజస్థాన్, బీహార్ అండ్ ఛత్తీస్గఢ్ లో యాక్టివ్ ట్రైనింగ్ జరుగుతుంది. Also we are coming up with this technology platform and Lead India di individual trainers ni train chesi pampinchakante now we are trying to work with the government system. We want to train the school teachers. This is where we need some help from like-minded NGOs and the government agencies to enable us to train the school teachers. The reason is they will be there for about 20-30 years within the school. Even they get transferred from one school to the other school, they will continue. So we want to identify some like-minded school teachers and provide them this Lead India training program, enable them with the technology. For example, using the virtual reality headset, we want to provide each school about 50 headsets. Instead of having 3 continuous days of training, these 10 modules we are trying to digitalize, a 1-hour module each with 15 minutes of each break within a 1-hour module, 4 segments.
Okay.
So these teachers, instead of having 3 days continuously, each class can be 1 hour a week, and in 10 weeks they can complete this 10-hour course. That way we are not burdening the schools with the time off, and we are not burdening the school teachers also. So this is an easy transition we are trying to make so that we can reach as many schools as possible. And with this VR headsets, we are making it available free of cost to schools. The sponsored by corporate social responsibility, major corporations are coming forward to help us. For example, Cognizant and IBM and Hetero Drugs. These are some of our corporate sponsors. So there are so many educational related technology companies also. They could become our sponsors. But the main hurdle, meer adiginattu, penetrating into the government system in India. Even we are offering the greatest program, but still the bureaucracy is preventing us from reaching as many schools as possible. I hope some of the listeners on your show who are into government can help us, and I'll be happy to work with them to make this program accessible to all in India. I will share one success story that is very inspiring. When Dr. Kalam was president, we took about 30 kids to Rashtrapati Bhavan on August 28, 2006. As a president, he spent significant amount of time with these 30 kids, gave the tour of the Rashtrapati Bhavan, served the food, and sat with them in the afternoon, shared his own life story, and requested each one of them to share their story and wanted to know what they want to be when they grow up. Mm-hmm. And in the process, the students stood up and said, I want to be an engineer, lawyer, doctor. But one kid from that group, his name is Shrikant Bolla. He was in ninth grade that time. He was legally blind. He said, Dr. Kalam, I want to be the first visually challenged president of India. So కలాం గారు అప్పటికే మిలియన్స్ ఆఫ్ స్టూడెంట్స్ తో ఇంటరాక్ట్ అయ్యారు, కానీ ఒక్కడు కూడా ఇలాంటి సమాధానం చెప్పలేదు వాళ్ళకి, కలాం గారికి. So with that, he was inspired and he wanted to mentor that kid. So whenever he came to Hyderabad, he met in person or spoke to him on the phone. And when Srikanth reached 10th grade with motivation and inspiration from Dr. Kalam, he scored 90%. Intermediate he scored 96%. Asked him to write SAT to come to study in America. Scored 2200 out of 2400, math 800 of 800. Asked him to apply to MIT Boston. 200 plus years of MIT. First legally blind international student ever got admitted into MIT in 2009. And in 2015...
Sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Hari. We have a caller online. And before we take the call, is he the same person, 23 years old? Currently his age is 23 years old, and he's a CEO for a company.
Yeah, he's 26 now, and his company name is Bollant Industries. He's the founder and CEO. Yes.
Absolutely. That's very inspiring, actually. Yeah. Vilas Gar is on the call. Good morning, Vilas.
Namaste, Andy. Shashank garu and Hari garu, very nice అండి, మంచి ఇంటర్వ్యూ వింటున్నాను. సో శశాంక్, నేను హరి గారి తోటి న్యూ జెర్సీలో ఉన్నప్పుడు 2 years బ్యాక్ నేను ఇండియా వెళ్ళినప్పుడు ఒక సోషల్ కాజ్ ఆన్కో ఇంటెలిజెంట్ వారి ఆధ్వర్యంలో క్యాన్సర్, ఉచిత క్యాన్సర్ గురించి క్యాంప్ చేయడం జరిగింది. దాంతో పాటు హై క్యాంప్ చేశాము. అక్కడ 300 members కి ఉచిత ఐ స్పెట్స్ అంటే కంటి అద్దాలు ఉచితంగా ఇచ్చాము. సో అక్కడ ఈ క్యాన్సర్ దానికి రావడానికి డాక్టర్స్ ఉంటారు కదా, డాక్టర్స్ బృందం అంతా కోఆర్డినేట్ చేసినంతా హరి ఎప్పనపల్లి గారు. సో అంటే ఇంటర్వ్యూ ప్రారంభంగా ఒకసారి అది గుర్తు చేద్దామని, అంటే తను చాలా క్యాంప్స్, సోషల్ అవేర్నెస్ క్యాంప్స్ చాలా మందికి హెల్ప్ చేశారు. సో తను సొంతంగా చేయడం కాకుండా మిగతా వాళ్ళకి ఒక ఆదర్శంగా ఉంటూ హెల్ప్ చేశారు. థ్యాంక్ యూ హరి గారు, థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ అండి. మీతో మాట్లాడుతున్నందుకు చాలా హ్యాపీగా ఫీల్ అవుతున్నాను.
Thank you so much, Shashank. That's a good point. Actually, I'm on the governing board member of this oncointelligent.org, cancer awareness, prevention and survival care gurinchi start chesam adi with a bunch of physicians and scientists. And Jaya Telukuntla is the one, our India convener and coordinator, and she's the one organized the camp on the ground with Vilas sponsorship. Thank you, Vilas, for sponsoring that event, and it was fabulous that you also care for people. We did close to maybe 10,000 patients ki screening chesam cancer meeda. Unfortunately, India lo emotundante vallaki stage 3, stage 2 వచ్చే వరకు కూడా క్యాన్సర్ ఉందని తెలియట్లేదు. ఇన్ స్పైట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ ద ఆరోగ్యశ్రీ ఇవన్నీ ఉన్నా కూడా పీపుల్ ఆర్ నాట్ అవేర్ దట్ దే డూ హ్యావ్ క్యాన్సర్. The reason the cancer is spreading, a lot of pollution and fertilizers being used and chemicals are used. We don't know. The look and feel ki adi bendakaya lagane untadi gaani adi etla grow avutundi anedi behind the scene we don't know. That's unfortunate thing that there's no proper drug administration or of agriculture oversight in India. It's in many of the emerging countries, this is a problem. So in the process of feeding as many people as possible, we are genetically re-engineering the food and using a lot of chemicals and fertilizers. All those things are triggering these cancer-causing agents and impacting people's lives. There's a huge need. Any listeners on the call, please look into oncointelligent.org and volunteer your services and identify the areas where cancer screening camps are needed. We'll be happy to provide those camps.
Absolutely, very informative.
ఇంకొకటి యాడ్ చేస్తానండి శశాంక్ గారు. ఈ
Sure.
షో తరపున ఎవరైతే వింటున్నారో అంటే జనరల్ గా చాలా మందికి సామాజిక సేవ, సోషల్ అవేర్నెస్ ఇలాంటి కార్యక్రమాలు చేయాలని ఉంటుందండి. సో ఐ వాంట్ టు టెల్ వన్ మోర్ థింగ్. క్యాన్సర్ దాని గురించి ఏమైనా కావాలంటే సార్ చెప్పినట్టు ఆంకో ఇంటెలిజెంట్ గా వెబ్సైట్ కానీ లేకపోతే నెక్స్ట్ టైం హరి గారు కానీ మన తెలుగు ఎన్ఆర్ఐ రేడియో టీం సంప్రదించిన విల్ గివ్ డీటెయిల్స్. అయితే ఉచిత కంటి పరీక్షలు ఉన్నది కదండి. నేను లాస్ట్ టైం వెళ్ళినప్పుడు ఒక్కొక్క స్పెట్స్ కి ఆల్మోస్ట్ 600 వరకు ఒక్కదానికి ఇవ్వడం జరిగింది, అంటే విలేజ్ వాళ్ళకి. ఈ మధ్యలో ఇంకా కొన్ని క్యాంప్స్ వస్తున్నాయండి. ఆల్మోస్ట్ 100 రూపీస్ కూడా వాళ్ళు మంచి క్వాలిటీ ఉన్న అద్దాలు ఇస్తున్నారు. సో మన విలేజ్ వాళ్ళకి ఎవరికైతే ఇవ్వాలనుకుంటే గనక క్యాంపు మీరు 100 మందికి చేస్తే 10,000 రూపాయల కంటే ఎక్కువ కాదు. కానీ చాలా మంది ముసలి వాళ్ళు, పెద్దవాళ్ళు గుర్తుంచుకునే అవకాశం ఉంటుంది. సో ఎవరైనా సామాజిక సేవ చేయాలనుకున్న వాళ్ళకి మనం ఆ డీటెయిల్స్ కూడా మన తెలుగు ఎన్ఆర్ఐ రేడియో ఇస్తుంది. ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ హరి గారు. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్.
థ్యాంక్ యూ విలాస్. Appreciate all of your service and coordination.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for your call. సో ఇది మీరు అన్నట్టుగా ఇందాక శ్రీకాంత్ బొల్లా గురించి మాట్లాడుతున్నారు కదా. రైట్ నౌ ఐమ్ షూర్ యూ మస్ట్ హావ్ సెడ్ హిస్ ఏజ్ ఇస్ 26 years రైట్ నౌ. చాలా ఇన్స్పైరింగ్ అండ్ the worth of that company is about 50 crore.
The inspiration ఎంత ఉందంటే అబ్బాయి దగ్గర జూన్ 20th 2013 లో లీడ్ ఇండియా భారత్ రత్న స్కూల్ ఇనాగరేషన్ టైంలో శ్రీకాంత్ కూడా ఆ మీటింగ్ లో ఉన్నాడు. సో ఆ రోజు ఈవినింగ్ ఐ వాజ్ ఆన్ ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఎవ్రీ టీవీ అండ్ రేడియో షో. అండ్ ఒక దగ్గర కాన్ఫ్లిక్ట్ వచ్చింది మాకు. టోరీ తెలుగు వన్ రేడియోలో దే వాంటెడ్ మీ అండ్ ఆల్సో హెచ్ఎం టీవీ ఎట్ ద సేమ్ టైమ్. So I negotiated with the Telugu One radio saying that I'll bring a better guest than me and introduce that person, and after that I will rush to the HMTV. So I took Srikanth with me, and
that shows your humbleness. More greater person than me, Anaru. I loved it actually, and that shows your humbleness. Yeah, please go ahead.
అయితే ఆ షోలో మహేష్ మామ అనుకుంటా, దట్స్ వాట్ ఐ రిమెంబర్. హీ వాజ్ అవర్ రేడియో జాకీ దట్ డే. I introduced the first 5 minutes Srikanthani. I said during a commercial break, I was about to leave, and Srikanth, I'm very proud of you. You are very successful. You started this Bollant Industries and preventing the pollution by manufacturing the biodegradable paper plates, paper cups, and all these things, and engaging the unemployed youth to provide these services. I'm very happy, and you're very successful. And శ్రీకాంత్ ఏమన్నాడు, సార్ నేను ఇంకా రాష్ట్రపతి అవ్వలేదు, మై మిషన్ ఇస్ టు బికమ్ ద ప్రెసిడెంట్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా. సో హీఈస్ వెరీ స్ట్రాంగ్. He still remembers his mission that he promised in front of Dr. Kalam that he wanted to become the first visually challenged president of India. That is very impressive. And he is now using the unemployed youth to employ them to manufacture biodegradable paper plates, paper cups, and napkins. He successfully did it in Andhra Pradesh, Hyderabad. Now he is spreading that into other metro cities in India. If you go to Hyderabad airport, there is a store of Bollant Industries showcasing the biodegradable paper plates, paper cups, and napkins.
Great. అంటే మనకి అన్ని కరెక్ట్ ఉండి మనం ఎన్నో కంప్లైంట్స్ చేస్తాము, అండ్ చూడ్డానికి చూపు లేకున్నా see how successful he is. I mean, it's a great inspirative. I mean, chala inspiration. I mean, it's a very great move actually. So you are actually into VT Seva. What is it about?
Yes.
And I see targeting a lot of children on this.
Chinnajiyar Swami varu vinuntaru మీ శ్రోతలందరూ. So he started a thing called GR Educational Trust. తర్వాత వికాస తరంగిణి అని ఇండియాలో దే డూ సేవా కార్యక్రమాలు. సో దాన్ని గ్లోబలైజ్ చేయడానికి US లో vtseva.org అని వాలంటీరింగ్ టుగెదర్ ఫర్ సర్వీస్ అని స్టార్ట్ చేశాము. I was the founding president of this organization to create the organization, structure the organization, and set up the chapters. I was the initial founding president of this, and today we have about close to 100,000 volunteers globally, and now we called it vtsworld.org. Our focus is again health, education, and environment. That is also in line with my personal passion. That's how I accepted to serve on that mission. We are very successful. We run schools for tribal children, and one of the school I personally sponsored and built in Adilabad, a place called Bisapet. It's a high school with 500 capacity. We have about 350 students in that school now. As I mentioned before, everybody is passing with 90% or above. Then we do conduct cancer screening camps. We have a mobile vans and fully equipped with modern equipment inside the van, and a team of physicians and technicians take from every week one village, and they do screen for the children, women, and everybody for cancer related. And whoever needs the treatment, we refer to the nearest hospital. And in some cases, some donors come forward to subsidize some of their treatment costs and things like that. Primarily, we are associated with, in Vijayawada area, NRI Medical College. That's where a lot of our patients go back to get treatment, but everywhere in Hyderabad, Yashoda and Basavatarakam Cancer Hospital, Apollo, a lot of hospitals do take our patients. So that is, then we also take care of the healthcare, education, and environment-related stuff. We go and clean up the rivers and parks and plant trees, and we do conduct walkathons to increase the awareness on the Earth Day and all of that. So that is a very good movement. It is associated with the White House, with the Presidential Volunteering Program. Any volunteers, youngsters especially, volunteer their time when they cross, depending on the different age groups, when they cross 80 hours of volunteerism, we submit those hours to the White House program, and the President of the United States from the White House signed certificate and a medal is received by the youngsters. And typically in U.S. for college admission, in addition to their grades, SATs, they also look for social service. I think this is a very credible program, and a lot of people took advantage of this and took the certifications. My own son did volunteer for this and received a certificate from Obama, actually, in this condition.
Great. And we have an emailer. Manaki email chesaranamata, Sirisha from Virginia, and she says very great information, and thank you so much, Mr. Hari, and we wish you all the very best and congratulations. That's what she says.
Yeah, thank you, Sirisha. I'm glad you are listening, and please see what you can do. Even it's a small drop to make a difference in somebody's life, it will be a great, gratifying experience and contentment in your own life. See what you can do. If anything I can assist you, please, I'll be at your service.
And would you like to give out your contact information or any source to reach out to you?
Sure. You can publish on your website. My Gmail account is hari.eppanapally@gmail.com, and I can be reached on my mobile number 973-454-3394. I'll be happy to serve on this health, education, and environment-related causes.
And join hands with you. So number again నేను ఒకసారి రిపీట్ చేస్తాను మన లిసనర్స్ అందరి కోసం. ఈమెయిల్ ఐడి వచ్చేసి hari.eppanapally@gmail.com అండ్ ఫోన్ నెంబర్ వచ్చేసి 973-454-3394. మీకు కాల్ చేసి మీకు ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఉంటే మీరు ఎనీ రిలేటెడ్ సోషల్ సర్వీసెస్ ఆర్ ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు జాయిన్ యువర్ హ్యాండ్స్ విత్ మిస్టర్ హరి అప్పనపల్లి, మీరు డెఫినెట్గా రీచ్ అవుట్ అయ్యి ఎనీ డీటెయిల్స్ మీరు తెలుసుకోవచ్చు. అండ్ థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్. అండ్ what are your greatest achievements, if I can ask?
Working with Dr. Kalam on his Lead India mission is the most gratifying experience of my life. Then working with Chinnajaya Swamiji on the VTS World, and very proud to have been the founding president of that initiation. That's also a great learning experience. He's a spiritual person, but a great CEO to run a company, even it's a non-profit world. Then I work in the U.S. side. I'm on the board of a think tank organization called Financial Policy Council, which I did not mention about before. I was a founding board member and vice president for the last 8 years. We promote entrepreneurship, and we influence in Washington to encourage legislations for promoting entrepreneurship. Every alternate month, we host an event in New York City. And it's since the last 8 years, consistently we did that. The previous event was on July 12th, and the topic was Future of Digital Economics and Global Impact of Automation. And I created the program, and I'm the speaker of that event, actually. The next event is on educational technology on September 12th. If anybody's interested, they can be my guests. But this is a very high-end think tank organization, which we work hard, and I'm the only Indian American on the board and serving to the U.S. market to encourage early-stage entrepreneurs to succeed in their life.
Great. So let me ask you this. Achievements matladaru. What is the most goosebump moment in your life? అంటే మీకు ఆనంద బాష్పాలతో నిండిపోయి లైక్ గూస్ బంప్స్ వచ్చిన మూమెంట్ ఒక్కటి.
When I was delivering the keynote address in front of Dr. Kalam, in front of 10,000 audience, that was the most goosebumping experience I had. And with happiness, at one instance during my speech, when I was mentioning about how I grew up as a child without proper food to eat or proper clothes to wear, so my tears were rolling my cheeks, and that was the most touching moment of my life.
Great. And what is your life goal? And I'm sure మీరు already 1 hour నుంచి మెన్షన్ చేస్తున్నారు, but final గా what is going to be your ultimate goal?
Yes, definitely. That's the last meeting I had with Dr. Kalam was on December 30, 2014, before he passed away in July 27, 2015. So he mentioned to me in a one-on-one meeting, Hariji, we want to see India healthy, educated, and spiritual. So the spiritual concept which we did not talk was he, as a scientist, studied a lot of things, and in England there was a study conducted. The families who had dinner together with their children, they stayed together in life, and as they grew up, those children are a lot more successful in their life. The success could be measured in many ways, right? Some people are successful with financial wealth, spiritual wealth, or education, or political, so many ways, but those kids were a lot more successful in life compared to the families who did not have dinner together with their kids. So with that concept, Dr. Kalam wanted to promote the peace and harmony in families. He requested promote through various non-profit organizations or for-profit organizations to encourage families to have at least one meal together. Depending on their convenience, it could be breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Most of the time, we assemble for dinner at the dining table or sit on the floor and eat. So he said, before having the meal, irrespective of their faith and religion, encourage them to pray, have dinner together, and that will bring the families together and bring peace and harmony, one family at a time. If every family is in peace and harmony, the whole nation will be. If every nation is in peace and harmony, the whole world will be. That is the vision that he wanted to promote, and that's what I would like to do. In this context, a couple of years ago, we held in line with the United Nations Sustainable Development, we held a conference in Rutgers University where the UN Sustainable Development Head was the keynote speaker. And we invited like-minded NGOs like Sri Sri Ravi Shankar's Art of Living, BAPS Swaminarayan Organization, GR Educational Trust, on the spiritual side to promote, in addition to the health and education things. We had various panel discussions, and we still want to partner to promote Dr. Kalam's vision and mission with like-minded organizations. The listeners on this call, please refer some people, or if you are part of one, we would like to work with you to realize the dream of Dr. Kalam to establish peace and harmony on this planet. That is been my lifetime ambition, to see some peace and harmony and the people to be educated and healthy.
Stay
so that
healthy.
they can end respectfully.
For sure. And one last message to all our Telugu NRI radio listeners?
Friends, this is only one life we have. We don't know what the next life is going to be. Do whatever you can. We want you to be successful so that you can extend your hand to others to succeed in their life. So whatever you can do, it could be health or education or spirituality or helping somebody who cannot eat well. So just give them a meal or give them a book and do something that can make a difference in somebody's life, that can bring you the gratifying experience, the contentment you need. When you want to leave this world, when you leave this world, nothing is going to go with you. Everything will be left behind. So you want to make sure that your time, talent, and treasure is used well while you are living on this planet. That the reason we are born on this planet, we know that we are imperfect. If we are perfect, we would have been angels somewhere up there, not taken birth on this planet. So there is a purpose why you are born on this planet, and make sure that the purpose is served and your time, talent, and treasure is used well while you are here. We don't know. Even you leave behind all of your properties, you don't know how your children are going to use it. So you make sure that you do that with your own eyes and ears and hands. That's all I can tell you. Please, if I can be of any service, I shared my contact information. Please feel free to reach me anytime. I'll be happy to be at your service. Thank you for having me on this show. Shashank and Vilas, you're doing a great service. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And best wishes.
Thank you so much for your humbleness, and thank you so much for your valuable time. I mean, it was so informative, and ప్రతి ఒక్కరు విన్న వాళ్ళందరికీ ఎక్కడో ఒక్కడ చిన్న మూమెంట్ వచ్చిందని నేను డెఫినెట్ గా అనుకుంటున్నాను. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ మిస్టర్ హరి, అండ్ వి విష్ యూ ఆల్ ద వెరీ బెస్ట్ ఆన్ బిహాఫ్ ఆఫ్ అవర్ తెలుగు ఎన్ఆర్ఐ రేడియో అండ్ ఆన్ బిహాఫ్ ఆఫ్ మీ పర్సనల్లీ. థ్యాంక్స్ ఫర్ యర్ టైమ్, సార్.
Thank you. Take care and wish you all the best. Take care.
All right, thanks. Thank you. అదండి షో ఈరోజు. మనకి అంటాం కదా, అబ్దుల్ కలాం ఈజ్ నాట్ అన్ ఇన్స్పిరేషన్ టు హిందూస్, నాట్ అన్ ఇన్స్పిరేషన్ టు ముస్లిం, నార్ క్రిస్టియన్, నార్ సిక్, నార్ ఎనీ రిలీజియన్. హీ ఈజ్ అన్ ఇన్స్పిరేషన్ టు ద ఎంటైర్ హ్యూమన్. అండ్ ఏపీజే అబ్దుల్ కలాం గోల్ని మీట్ అవ్వడానికి ఎంతో మంది ఇలాంటి గ్రేట్ పర్సనాలిటీస్ ఆర్ వర్కింగ్. మనం కూడా కుదిరితే హెల్ప్ చేద్దాం వీలైతే. అండ్ ఇట్ విల్ బి అ వెరీ ఫన్ అండ్ ఇట్ విల్ బి హ్యూజ్ ఫన్ అండ్ ఇట్ విల్ బి చాలా బాగుంటుంది. యాక్చువల్గా సర్వీస్ టు అ మ్యాన్ ఈజ్ అ సర్వీస్ టు మ్యాన్, గాడ్ అంటారు కదా. సో డెఫినెట్లీ మనకు తోచిన హెల్ప్ చేద్దాము అండ్ డెఫినెట్గా మంచిగా ముందుకు వెళ్ళడానికి ప్రయత్నిద్దాం అనమాట. సో దిస్ ఈజ్ అబౌట్ టుడేస్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషనల్ సెషన్. రేపు మళ్ళీ మన ఎక్స్ప్రెస్ రాజా షోలో మంచి సెగ్మెంట్ తీసుకుని వచ్చేస్తాను. అంతవరకు సెలవు తీసుకుంటాను. ఇండియాలో ఉన్న వాళ్ళకి మాత్రం గుడ్ నైట్, అండ్ ఆల్రెడీ పడుకున్న వాళ్ళకి మాత్రం యూ హ్యావ్ అ ప్లెజెంట్ స్లీప్. అండ్ యుఎస్ టైమ్ జోన్స్ అండ్ మార్నింగ్ టైమ్ జోన్స్లో ఉన్న వాళ్ళకి మాత్రం యూ హ్యావ్ అ ట్రెడిషనల్ థర్స్డే. ప్లీజ్ డు నాట్ గివ్ ఎలక్ట్రానిక్ గ్యాడ్జెట్స్ టు కిడ్స్, ఎస్పెషలీ ఇన్ ద టెంపుల్. సో ప్లీజ్ కీప్ దిస్ ఇన్ మైండ్ అండ్ సీ ఆల్ టుమారో ఆన్ అవర్ ఎక్స్ప్రెస్ రాజా షో. నేను మీ శశాంక్. నమస్కారం.